Hi guys! As you can tell by the title, this vlog is about my top 8 Christian authors for women. So obviously these are just my top picks, and I'm also sure that there's Christian authors that I have missed here, but these are the ones that I'm going to focus on this vlog. So let's get into it. Okay, so I think these authors are actually going to be pretty unsurprising. I think everyone's going to pretty much be able to write the list out before they even listen to me. But anyway, here they are. Okay, so first one we've got is Undaunted by Christine Caine. Christine Caine is so great to listen to. I've always loved her because she's real and because she's funny. I actually really like listening to people that are funny and entertaining to listen to. So yeah, but she's got a really great testimony, which also makes it always great to listen to people when they've got a really great story to tell. So yes, I highly recommend that, Undaunted by Christine Caine. Okay, so my next one is Stasi Eldredge. I actually have 2 here by Stasi Eldredge. Becoming Myself, which is a really great book if you're needing to, I guess, do a bit of a reboot, like possibly if you've been through a breakup or you know, some sort of negative situation in your life, and you need to find yourself again, you know, re-find your worth and all that sort of thing. This is a great book. So yes, and also Captivating, which everybody probably knows about Captivating. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that, if it's too glary. But yes, if Captivating is basically the woman's side of a course that John and Stasi Eldredge put together. And the guy's version is called Wild at Heart. My husband did that as alongside the same time that I did this originally, and then I've since reread it a few times. But this one is great. The most probably powerful thing for me, and you know, possibly that's a bit silly, but oh well, it's my thing, but when you're going through these courses, one of the things that you do is you go before the Lord and you ask him what it is that he knows you as. You know, what's the name that he uses for you? What does he know you as? So that was a really interesting thing to discover, because not everybody does. Like I remember the group that I did it, I think it was probably a dozen women that were doing the course, and I think it was only 3 or 4 that actually received their name. So yeah, so that was very exciting. There is a very, very big clue in my personal blog, which I've been doing for quite a few years now. So if you go there, you will see what my name is that God knows me as. So yes. And interestingly enough, my husband also received his name from the Lord when he did Wild at Heart, and same thing, he was in a reasonable sized group, and he was only one of a very few that received their name. So that's exciting. So there you go. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, Beth Moore. I've got here Breaking Free, even though I've got quite a few of her books. This is the one that I grabbed quickly to show you, and interestingly enough, this is actually probably the book that least impacted me of Beth Moore's. It's really still fantastic and I would highly recommend it to anybody, but I just don't feel that in my life I've you know, had any huge I don't know, barrier or you know, in chains, so to speak, about a particular issue that I felt that I needed to break free from. I just haven't had like a really big thing, but I think if you did, this book would be absolutely phenomenal. Like, I thought it was great without having a big thing to need to be broken free from. But probably the thing for me, which, well, I don't really think it's big when you compare it to Beth Moore and Christine Caine and those that have, you know, dealt with sexual abuse as a child and those sorts of things. I don't probably consider mine huge, but I guess it is for me personally. But reading this book, one of the biggest things for me was to let go of being I guess identified as, or being sort of you know, shelved into being visually impaired, because unfortunately it is hard to get away sometimes from the fact that it does affect me. You know, there's been so many times that I'd love to go and get a job and earn extra money, but even though you would think, well, I mean, blind people, completely blind people work, so, you know, why shouldn't I be able to? But unfortunately I fall in that yucky sort of grey area where I really can make it look like I can see perfectly fine, and that's what they expect when you go for jobs. Even if you fully explain it, they still expect you to be able to do it. So, and I can't, you know, do things like look at computers for a long time, look at registers, be able to read labels, be able to read dockets, you know, be able to read serial numbers or barcodes, that sort of thing. So I really needed to break free of that, I guess, stigma that I'd put on myself. Well, I mean, other people put it on me as well, but sometimes that I would, you know, place my worth in that. So that was the thing for me. So to know that God has given me amazing gifts and talents separate to the fact that I can't see well. So that was amazing. So yes. Okay, next one we're going on to is Priscilla Shirer, and I have 2 of her books. Fervent, which is, I thought this was a really, really great book. I would highly recommend this one just to relight your fire, I guess, which Priscilla is really great at doing. I also find her really entertaining to listen to and to watch. So, and she also does a little, kind of like a little TV show that just, I think it just appears on YouTube, but it's called The Chat with Priscilla, and she interviews some really, really fascinating people. So yeah, highly recommend you look that up on YouTube, The Chat with Priscilla. So yes, the other book I have is The Resolution for Women, and this is actually, I reckon I would probably recommend this one the most highly out of all the books. It comes from that absolutely amazing movie Courageous. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It is such a great movie. It's more focused on fathers and the father's role and the men's role, but there's so much that you can get from it in the women's role as well, and that's what this book covers. So yes, highly recommend. Okay, and Warrior Chicks by Holly Wagner. This is really great for just realizing how strong we are as women, and the power that we have to be able to work in the body of Christ. So really great book as well. Joyce Meyer, Confident Woman by Joyce Meyer. Anything Joyce Meyer speaks, writes is just like such amazing wisdom, and she has just so much biblical knowledge, as do all of these women, but Joyce Meyer is great. Joyce Meyer is a little bit almost, I don't know what the word is, but she's quite special to me because my dad loved her so much. You would go there all the time to Dad's place, and they were listening to a Joyce Meyer, probably because it always used to be on the TV. I don't know why. I would always happen to drop in around midday, but it was Joyce Meyer's usually on the TV at midday, so he would always be listening to her. And also it was at a Joyce Meyer event in Brisbane here that my husband put his hand up for the Lord, so that's pretty exciting as well. So there you go. Okay, this one here is Candace Cameron Bure, Reshaping It All. I also have Balancing It All, I think it's called, and I also have her Kind is the New Classy. Kind is the New Classy is a really, really great book. I only have it in audiobook, so I can't really show it to you physically, but Candace Cameron Bure, her books are, I don't want to say that, you know, they're not as deep or anything like that, but they are a lighter read than some of the others, the Priscilla Shirer, Beth Moore, or Lisa Bevere, those ones. It's just more of it, like you can really sort of read these ones quite quickly. But having said that, they really speak directly into you know, my role, like as a wife and mother, because that's exactly what she is. So I find them really good, and I also find her great because she's passionate about health and fitness as well, so she ties that into our spiritual walk. So yes, Candace Cameron Bure. Okay, and speaking of Lisa Bevere, I have 2 by Lisa Bevere. Girls with Swords, once again, great book for, you know, us as women to realize, you know, our just our power and the strength that we bring to the body of Christ. So that's also a really great book, highly recommend. And also another great one for if you've got teenage daughters to pass it on to. So I have an 18-year-old daughter, and I'll be giving this to her along with the Warrior Chicks by Holly Wagner as well. Would be great for her to read. Okay, and the final one, also by Lisa Bevere, is Lioness Arising. If you haven't done Lioness Arising, I really encourage you to. They're actually on, all the courses are actually now on YouTube, I'm fairly sure, but if not, try and get your hands on it somehow. It is a really great course. Try and do it within a group of women, because I really think that that's more beneficial. You can really sort of feed off each other and you know, speak into each other's lives while doing the course. So it is a really great course to be doing, and a great book on its own. I've, you know, reread it several times. So yeah, so there you go. So they are my top 8 authors. I think there's about 12 books there, but yeah, they're my top of the list 8 Christian authors for women. So yeah, so I would highly recommend you check them out. They're all a great read. I've read all of them at least twice, several of them several times. So yeah, but yeah, check them out. I'll also pop the photos for them after this so that you can screenshot them or write down the information for them. So yeah, okay, excellent. Thanks guys for watching my top 8 authors. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and don't forget to respect the temple inside and out. Okay, bye.